Knowledge is power. Many of us may be using scheduling tools, whether it's Microsoft Project, Oracle P6. You know, we believe that we are using it to the best, and it may be, right? But I'm really here to share some tips and tricks on Microsoft Project, a scheduling tool that a lot of us in project management use. Welcome, my name is Shivani Sinarain, and I'm very happy to be here in our Lunch and Learn series as we go from week to week on Caribbean Connect. So I'm about to share the screen, Microsoft Project, just welcoming everyone into our session. Feel free to jump in, ask any question at any point in time. So I know we have 1 hour because it's during lunchtime and many of us may be, you know, in your jobs and your work, working from home, but you're working. So after 1 hour, you know, you return to your normal duties. So thanks for being here during this lunchtime. So I'm just going to share my screen. And as I said, anyone who would like to ask any questions, just jump into it. And also feel free to place on the chat the level that you are in Microsoft Project, whether you are the beginner and advanced, you know, do you understand Microsoft Project, anything that you would like to share with us. This is the first time that you are seeing it. If this is the first time that you are seeing Microsoft Project. So let me just start and ask persons. Brandon, I'm seeing Brandon on the call. Brandon, this is the first time that you're using Microsoft Project. I know you use Oracle Primavera.
Hi, Miss Shivani, how are you doing?
Not bad at all.
I used Project for a few stuff on the job right now. So I kind of have a familiar understanding of it, especially how I did the P6. So I saw the session with the tips and tricks, so I figured I might as well get in and see what else I could learn from you.
Well, glad to have you here.
Good to be here.
So then we have Vindra. Vindra, is this the first time that you're seeing the software? Do you know the software? Do you use the software?
Good afternoon. This is not the first time I've seen it. I've used it, but at a very beginner introduction level. I've created schedules and did some basic linking with dependencies, but I'm very interested in learning much more about it because I learned it on my own. So I'm interested to see how people actually do use it. Thank you.
Welcome. And we are seeing Denise. Denise, I'm just calling out person so anybody can see, you know, the level that they are at.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I have used projects for some time, but more at a beginner level. I never really did a full project using it and understanding how all the different features it may have. Yes, I'm happy to be here. Thank you. Thanks again.
All right, welcome. And so Catherine, you see Catherine also. So it's a lot of familiar names that I'm seeing every Tuesday joining us. And so if this is your first time, welcome. If not, you know, welcome again, right? And we hope to see you all as we continue with our Lunch and Learn sessions every Tuesday. So Microsoft Project, this is how it looks, right? Depending on the version that you are showing that you are using. But, you know, I always tell persons, I always like to start the conversation like this. Garbage in, garbage out. If you are building a schedule, the purpose is to know the length of time, is to know the duration, is to know, you know, the resources that you are assigning to each particular activity. Now, whatever scheduling tool that you are using, you have to keep remembering too, Vindra, it is simply a tool to do something. Whether it is Oracle P6, whether it is Microsoft Project, it might be an app. There are a lot of persons designing project management tools. Excellent, very, very, very good. What can it do for us? And, you know, I will always start by saying garbage in, garbage out. Do we know, you have to know project management jargon, right? This is simply a tool that must go along with the project management field. And the theory and the jargon behind it. It is a scheduling tool. So me saying something like that then what is the jargon that we must use? We must be able to talk deliverables. We must be able to talk tasks. We must be able, of course, to use the word of work breakdown structure, a WBS. So one thing, you can't just use a scheduling tool. Yes, you may be able to use it and pull down certain things from the menu and create a schedule, but only when you understand and how it fits in into the entire project management world, then it will really be a success. And a lot of persons, when we practice different things, whatever field it is that we are practicing, we do things in pockets, we do things in silos, and you don't see the big picture. As one of my other favorite terms, synergy, where the sum is greater than its parts. You have to look at it as a whole. So this is a scheduling tool. Whatever tool that we are using, it must answer basic questions, yes, but it must be able to, develop some type of project management thinking or project management mindset. What exactly is this project management mindset and scheduling mindset that I'm saying? Part of the role of a project manager, as I think Ventura, you said it just now, is to develop a schedule. Most of us have, Brandon, you develop in schedules in whatever tool that you are using. But what is a schedule? A schedule is a time, if for those of us who are a little bit into it, is a time-based. It's time-based. It's telling you when you're going to start something and when you're going to finish it, and the durations, every single task. But if you do not populate the correct time or the correct, the correct duration of every single task, then this thing is not going to work. You're going to get a schedule, and then you're going to hear management and executive leadership telling us, oh, well, this is not correct, this is not working. It's because we don't know every single activity or every single task and the duration. So whatever tool, once again, it is not a miracle worker, right? We have to get the data in order to populate it. And, just a little off talk, last night I had the analytics class that I was doing, and it's the same concept over and over. It's the same talk, garbage in, garbage out. If you do not have the data, you cannot make decisions. And whatever tool, this is the purpose of using a tool, whether it is a scheduling tool, whether it's analytical tools, whether it's project management tools, whatever tool it is, it must help you now to make a decision. And the decision is what? The decision is, hey, what do I need to do to bring back probably my project on track? What do I need to do to make more money? I'm going over budget, right? Am I going to make my forecasts? So the conversation or the correct way or the correct mindset is to understand that this is simply a tool that we must get data to populate. The last project, I had to do using the tool. That's the first thing that I'll ask for. I said, well, what is the duration of every single activity? What is the plan? I can't just go and populate something like that. I need to get the requirements. So we again have to understand, where are we coming in the development of the schedule, right? Where are we coming in the development of the schedule? Because I may talk about it as a scheduling policy. Do you have scheduling policies? Do you have scheduling management plans? And then I use the software to create the schedule. So when you have your scheduling, your schedule, which is this, you are not supposed to wonder how to create it. You're not supposed to wonder what to do. If you are wondering what to do, Brandon, in a particular organization that you are working in or for a client, it means that there's no scheduling policy, there's not a governance structure for how to create schedules. So again, things fail a lot of times because we do not do what? We do not have, we're doing things in silos, we're doing things in pockets. There's not an alignment of everything. So we have to remember once again, that I hope your key takeaways thus far would be that this is a tool. This is a tool to assist us in the project management world, and not even in project management world, in whatever it is to create a schedule, I should say. But you must have your plans, you must have strategic direction, you must have the durations of the activities. If you don't, then this is just simply a tool that will look good, that I probably could build a schedule, but when you're going to really do it in reality, it fails, right? Because the schedule was unrealistic in the first place. So jargon that we must know would be work breakdown structure, which would be your deliverables and your tasks. So I'm going to just do a little demonstration, share a couple points on it in the short space of time that we have. And how do I do it? I'm actually going to do it. I'm going to go to File. It's a new project. So I just went to open it, and most of you all will know how to open your projects, right? When I do that, I'm seeing task name, I'm seeing duration, start, finish. I hope everybody's seeing my screen. Yeah? Right? Brandon, you seeing the screen, right? It's blank.
Yeah, I seen it.
So you're seeing task name, you're seeing duration, start, and finish. Now with task name here, what is a deliverable? So let's say I'm building a house. Deliverable can be major milestones. So I could say completion of the foundation, completion of substructure, and completion of superstructure. Those are my deliverables. And then I break up the deliverables now into tasks. And then I have to put tasks with durations. So the first thing, many persons, so let me just say Del 1, right? This is just example. I'm going to put Del 1, task 1. I'm going to have 2 tasks under Del 1. And I'm going to have Del 2 and 2 tasks again on the, right? Great. So Del 1, task 1, task 2, Del 2, task 3, task 4. So you basically have 2 deliverables and 2 tasks under each activity. Now, when is the project to start? You have to put in a project timeline here, right? You have to put in a project timeline or a project start date, right? Before I do that, yeah, let me do that first. Let me go to projects. And I want to put in a start date of my project. Project information. So I went to the menu project and I came down to project information. And now I am seeing start date. When I look at the start date, I'm seeing Tuesday 11/8/2022. I'm going to click on the drop down arrow. And it is today's date. Yes, it is today's date. No, is it? Yeah, it's the 8th, sorry, the 8th of the 11th month. I could see like any date I want. I'm going to say I'm going to start tomorrow on the 9th. So all I did was to put the project and project information, right? Now, sometimes some persons might put in a finish date. We don't want to put in finish date of the project because we want to build our schedule organically, right? So, you know, the correct sequence would be put this start date first. So I'm clicking OK. Now, nothing comes up as yet because I have to build. I'm going to go on the left-hand side, highlight everything, go back to auto schedule because that's what I want to do, auto schedule to let everything automatically appear and link. So when I do that, auto schedule, I am seeing that indeed I got a start date, indeed I got a finish date. So I'm not going to put the Del, the deliverable, I'm going to build the durations with the tasks. So I'm going to say task 1 is 4 days, task 2 is 5 days, task 3, 6 days, and task 4, 7. Now, task 1 and task 2 are part of deliverable 1. So what is supposed to happen would be the duration of 1 day will actually be probably 9 days if you put it as finish to start relationship. So what I need to do now is to build a schedule that Del 1 will not be showing us 1 day, but it will really take up the entire duration of task 1 and task 2. And then task 3 and task 4 must take up the durations and really build that now into Del 2, deliverable 2, right? How do I do that? So I'm going to highlight 1 and 2. Yeah, I'm going to highlight 1 and 2. And when I highlight 1 and 2, I'm looking for an indent column, right? And I'm indeed seeing the indent column right here. So I've indented the task, right? I clicked, it's indented. But this is appearing now as 5 days, and you may thought that it might appear as 9 days, right? We'll see why. Then I'm going to task 3 and task 4. So I'm going to highlight 5 and 6. And I'm going to once again indent it. Yeah, I'm going to indent it. But again, it is not showing up as 7 days, it's only showing up as 7. We don't think that's right. So what we have to do now is to set relationships, meaning make everything finish to start or start to start. I'm going to say everything is finished to start, right? Meaning when I finish task 1, then I could move to task 2. When I finish task 2, then I could move to task 3. When I finish task 3, then I could move to task 4. So I highlight everything. I'll do it over again. I'm going to highlight it. And I'm going to click on link activities. So link the selected the task. Yeah. And then we see our nice Gantt chart being populated here, where you are seeing now, each single task, and you're seeing our right arrows appearing. And if you look back at the table view, indeed Del 1 now is 9 days, right? Task 1, task 2, task 3, task 4, it's coming up in the correct order. So this is in a nutshell so far, the basis of building a good schedule. Folks, I did not know. You might say, well, yeah, this duration is 4 days. Let me come here and type in the start and the finish. But I say, don't do that way at all. When you build start dates and finish dates of every single task, what you are really going to be creating is constraints. It may appear as if it's working here when you're building the schedule, but when you have started to track and to show progress, your entire schedule is going to go bonkers, right? And it's going to go off. So we have to create the correct format. We have to create the correct the correct way to do it, which is you start with the project start date. You put in the deliverables, you put in your tasks, you build your relationships, you put in the durations. You do not enter your start date and your finish date for every single activity. Now, it may appear as if it is working, but when I baseline my schedule and I start to track, it's not, everything is going to go all over the place. So correct way, and as we said, we are building a schedule, and the term is organically. How you are building it, you are starting first with the start date, you're coming on with deliverables, you're coming on with tasks, and you're putting in a duration of every single activity, a duration. So I'm going to do this over. I'm going to start over. All right, I'm going to start over. A new sheet. Yeah. Alvin, you see in my screen, right? You see in my sheet? Okay, not here, Alvin.
Yeah.
Nikisa, you seen it? My sheet, right? A blank sheet? Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, I am. I'm seeing it.
Great. It's
Yes, we
blank,
are.
right?
Mhm.
Blank. Mhm. Great. Brandon, you have the software in front of you. You have it that if I ask you to share the screen with me after, you could share it? No?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right, okay, good. So afterwards, all right, you will be you'll do the test, right? With me. Good. So what is the entire part of this conversation? What we have to do? What would it be? We said we go to project first, project information. So you go to project information, and you go to start date, which is what? You put in the 9th. Yeah. Well, that's tomorrow's, right? And I'm clicking OK. What is the difference with Del, Catherine? What do you understand Del to be DEL and a task? Because I'm saying Del 1, Del 2, task 1, task 2. What is a Del? What is deliverable? And what is a task? What is a deliverable and what is a task? Okay. Yeah.
I think the deliverable, I say right?
Mm-hmm.
The deliverable is the topic and the task is the sections we have to do.
Okay, so the deliverable is the section, what? And the task would be the topics, okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Vindra, what is a deliverable and what is a task?
I'm thinking the deliverable is the output product, and the tasks are the set of activities to produce that deliverable product.
All right, to produce the deliverable, okay? So for example, a deliverable for me, let's say I plan this as a project, right? I could have 2 deliverables here. Content is one deliverable, content, and the second deliverable will be delivery. Because after, what is the content that I'm going to show everybody? And then another important aspect as a deliverable for me will be delivery. How am I going to deliver it? So those are my 2 main deliverables, content and delivery. Right now, under those deliverables, under the deliverable now content, I can share some tasks. So the task might be create a PowerPoint presentation, because that's what I want to probably show, a PowerPoint presentation, to ensure that your laptop, that you have Microsoft Project on the laptop. So that's how I am, because I'm going to enter information into the software to show you. So those are the tasks that are needed in order to accomplish the content part. Then 2, delivery. So delivery is the deliverable, but what are the tasks? Right? And what are the tasks that will help me now to accomplish that deliverable? The task would be introduce myself, to share my screen, right? 3, start to call Brandon and Vindra to explain a couple things. So the point is, you have a deliverable and you have your tasks. You do not put the durations on your deliverable. You put the durations on your tasks, and then of course it will take, the deliverable will add it up and do it properly for us, because it's a scheduling tool. And already that you are seeing, Catherine, if I do not know my task and I do not know my deliverables and I do not know the durations, this thing can't work, right? This is simply a tool, right? And as we keep saying in all these sessions and all these technical sessions here, it is a tool, garbage in, garbage out. If I do not have the data, I cannot generate the reports to make proper decisions for my project. Another main point would be, this is a tool, do not use it in isolation from project management. It must be hand in hand. Synergy, where the sum is greater than its parts. A lot of times people do things in pockets. When you do little things in pockets, you are not seeing the big picture. People do that with scheduling. We don't want to do that, right? We want to do it as part of the entire structure. And of course, big organizations, that's how we do it, right? Not big, anybody, right? So not only big organizations, anyone. This is the correct way to do it. You must have a scheduling policy. You must have your scheduling management plan. And then you have your scheduler that will go now and create it, whether you're using Oracle or whether you're using Microsoft, or whether you're using any scheduling tool, because we could develop our own tools, right? And develop the software. So in saying that, then once I have the information, I would be able to talk the durations now. I'll be able to talk the duration. Good. So the task name, we said del1, right? And then I can just go and enter task 1, and I could enter task 2, then I could do del2, then I could do task 1, and I could do task 2. Right? This is coming up in task mode like this. What I want to do now is to talk auto schedule. So auto schedule. So feel free to put on your cameras and anything too, right? So we could get to see everybody. I know a number of persons on the call here, but let me make sure that everybody know everybody. So I'm highlighting everything. And then what I had to do, I had to auto schedule. So I go to the menu task and I go to auto schedule now. All right, auto schedule. So you will have durations. You'll have task 1 here. So I'm going to put 5, and task 2, I'm going to put 6. Task 1 here is 7. Task 2, 8. Then I have to what? Highlight task 1 and task 2 and indent it. Because if I don't indent it, now at this point, Catherine, a lot of times people like to put in the start date for every single activity. They say, all right, this is 5 days. Instead of putting in the duration, you're going to put your start and you're going to put your finish. What we're saying, don't do that. Put in your durations and do your resource relationship, and your dates will come up automatically. Do not put in this, the start date and the finish date. If you're doing that, right? So a couple of weeks ago, I had a schedule to track, right? To start the tracking. They already had created the schedule. And they were thinking the schedule is correct. But the moment I started to track, it went all over. I had to recreate the schedule as I was telling them, because you have start and you have finish. They did not enter it with durations. So you have an order, you have a sequence to do the thing. I mean, and yes, you see in Microsoft Project, you could go and undo and undo, and you could, do a little ratchet and get it through with it. But in Oracle, in P6, as those of us who know it, Brandon, you can't. Oh gosh, to undo is a real task. So my advice: follow a sequence so that you don't have to keep doing undo and undo and undo, right? Great. So task 1 and task 2, right? So I'm going to highlight now task 1 and task 2. And when I highlight task 1 and task 2, I go to indent. Great. And look, did I Vindra put in any start and finish date for the task? Did you see me put anything like that? No.
No, only
Right.
the durations.
Only the duration. But how do you build? How do you build schedules, right? You said you have a little idea about it. Do you put it like this, or how do you do it?
Yeah. We put in the durations and we do the links, because, well, if it's finished, the start for the tasks, between the tasks.
Right. So you put it as finish to start, right? Or it could also be Vindra start to start. Yeah. So I'm going to highlight now task 1 and task 2 under del2. And what I had to do now, I have to indent, right? Good. So I have to indent. And look, it's coming up. It's appearing correct. Yes, but why does it look like this? Because I didn't put in what? Relationships as yet. So I'm going to highlight everything and click on link, not link. Yeah. Link. Yeah. So it's 11 days for del1 and 15 days for del2. But in projects, we may be asked to know what is the entire duration of the entire project? What is the duration of the entire project? Yeah. How do I? So I really want to show something on top that tells me the name of the project and what? And the duration. So the duration really should appear now as 11 and 15, right? So how do I get something like that? Right? So it's a summary task that I'm looking for, which will be for my entire project right here. Okay, well, let me make sure that I'm seeing it. Okay, not details. I'm looking for it right in front of me and I can't see it now, you know. Okay. Okay, I'll get it back shortly. So before I do anything again, could I ask somebody to share their screen? Brandon, would you be able to help me to do a little recap on this? Yeah, Brandon? Brandon's not here.
Yeah, I can share it.
Share it. And Vintra, you can just
Yeah.
walk him through what to do in the meantime.
So I had already.
You were doing something, right? Okay, so let's do
Yeah.
it back again. A new screen. Vintra, could you walk him through step by step so that everybody could remember what to do? And then I'll take over.
Okay, yeah, no problem.
Thank you.
Okay, from what I remember, we have to list out our deliverables and tasks, the names. We had deliverable 1, task 1, task 2. Deliverable 2, task 1 and task 2. And as in, but we would have the durations for the tasks, the individual tasks. I can't remember what was the exact duration, but I think what was 4 days,
Yeah,
5
you
days.
could put any duration. You just put in.
Yeah, it was 6, 7. Now that we have the tasks, we have to do the indentations for task 1 and task 2 on the deliverable. So I highlight task 1 and task 2 and the indentation button there. Similar for task 1 and task 2 on the deliverables. Right. Oh, one thing we didn't do as yet, I don't know if it makes a difference at this point, is to set the start date. We didn't set the start date for the project. So right now it looks like it defaulted today.
It defaulted today, but
If
you
you
could
wanted
change it after, yeah?
Yes, we could change any project information to start tomorrow, whatever day, we put it for Wednesday. Right, so you see the column for start actually automatically update after we change it. And the finish dates would be calculated for now based on the durations, but everything starting at the same time. So we have to do our links between the tasks, the relationships, and it automatically did it there as finish to start for all, I believe there. So for deliverable 1, we see 9 days, which is consistent of the 4 and 5. Deliverable 2 is 13, which considers the 6 and the 7. So I think that's it for that part. We don't have any relationships right now between deliverable 1 and deliverable 2 from what oh no, yes. Deliverable two has a predecessor of one. So yeah. So I think that's it for finish to start scheduling for the tasks.
Good. Right. And what we want now, okay, so you're seeing summary, you're seeing insert, click on the summary. No, that's new summary task. Yeah, highlight above the one. Yeah, but it's not, it's summarized in new summary tasks. Right, and it came up here. That's correct. That's the amount. 13 and what? Yeah, and then you could just change it right there. Okay, so could you do that over again so everybody could see it? How we did it?
Sure. From the very start or with the summary?
No, just the deliverable itself.
Sure.
No, how you had total, sorry, how you had total del time. That's what we want. Just delete that and do it over so everybody could see it. So we deleting it.
That-
Right.
that's a good thing with
Yeah,
MS
yeah,
Word.
correct. Good thing we had that undo, right?
Yeah.
Great. So what we said, you're gonna put it, insert. I think you inserted a task, right?
Yeah. Insert a task and then I pick summary.
Mhm.
Well, actually, I didn't insert the task. I just had picked summary.
Yeah, new summary task,
The
right?
yeah. Summary task. And then I needed to indent. So right now, only del1 is in new summary task. And it doesn't include del2 until I indent it.
Good. No, but it's not correct still.
No.
Yeah, we had it just now, didn't we? Okay. We indented. I'm looking to see if you indented it properly. Right, it came
Yeah,
up. You had to
we did that.
indent. Okay, good. Thank you. Let me get back my screen and I'll
Oh.
talk a little more now on the start and lead time and lag time. Right. Right. So I did what? I linked the activities between task 1 and task 2. I just went and highlighted everything. And I did link. But, you know, I want to say between these two tasks, it is not a finish to start relationship, but a start to start relationship between these two activities. Let me just do it over very quickly for those of us, you know, just to sync it in even better. Thank you, Vindra and Brandon, right? You all did a good job. So let me just do it fast again. Yeah, why mine stuck in 4, share screen. And I'm looking for new screen, new document. Good. Right, hopefully you're seeing a blank screen now, right? No, Catherine?
Yes, I'm seeing a blank screen.
Right,
But
good.
it's good.
So I go to del 1. Now I could enter del 1, del 2, del 3, task 1, task 2, task 3, and keep inserting. About 1, task 1, task 2, del 2, task 1, I wanted to put in the project information. So I go to project, and then I had to go to what? Project information, yeah. So this is the start date. I'm putting in the 9th. Then I click OK. Then I'm saying task 1, 4, 6, 5, 8, right? Then highlight everything. Well, not even highlight. You wanted to link the activities, but something I missed. What did I miss to do? Auto schedule. Good. And I had to highlight, indent. And I highlight 5 and 6 again, and I indent. Good. Right. Good. I was just changing my screen a little bit. So now I want to change task 1 and task 2 from a finish to start relationship. Well, actually, no, I didn't put it as a finish to start. So I have to highlight everything. And I'm going now to link the selected task, right? And link it means what? What did linking mean? Linking mean that everything will go finish to start automatically. So that's what I wanted to know, that everything will go finish to start. Right. Now, okay, I went to a different view. And what we are saying, we don't want all the activities to be finished to start like that. We may want certain activities to be more start to start. So between task 1 and task 2, I want to say it is a start to start relationship. So how do I get it, folks, as a start to start? Many ways. I'm just going to double click on task 2 here. And when I double click on task 2, I am seeing something as predecessor. So I'm clicking on predecessor. And when I click on predecessor, I'm seeing type coming up here, which is a finish to start. But I'm saying change it from a finish to start now to a start to start. Change it from a finish to start now to a start to start. And then I click OK. Yeah. And what you will be seeing are these 2 tasks now starting at the same time. If you look at my start dates, it is showing up like that. 2 starting at the same time. What I want to show, so how do I get rid of the start to start and put it back as a finish to start? Double click on task 2, click on predecessors, go to start, and just say finish to start. Look at change back, right? So to get it as, I'm leaving it as a finish to start, but I'm going to do one thing again. I'm going to add something known as lag time. So you have lag time and you have lead time. For example, if I am building a house and one of my tasks was to set a foundation, and before I could do something again, I have to leave it to dry, which is lag time. So between task 1 and task 2, I am leaving it as a finish to start, but I'm now putting it with a lag time. Highlight task 2, where you have F finish to start, leave it as finish to start, and I'm going to say 5 days lag. So I'm typing in 5 in the lag column, and I'm going to click OK. What do you notice? You notice now that in the predecessor column, I have 2 FS plus 5 days. Because I'm starting not immediately after task 1. I am waiting 5 days for it to be completed. I'm waiting 5 days for it to be completed. Yeah. Good. Then I have now. So that was a finish to start relationship, but with lag time. What about with lead time? So look at how the arrow looks like here. What about the lead time now? What is lead time? In order for you to do task 2, task 1 must be completed, but I'm not waiting until task 1 is totally completed. When task 1 has 3 days left in it, I could start task 2. And this is why we were saying, Catherine, we have to understand what is the relationship, what is the lag time, what is the lead time to build your proper activities. You're not only schedulers, you may be planners too. You know, in projects, you may say planner/scheduler, right? So you have, if this is not done properly, your schedule will be wrong. So, and then you can't pull the reports and the variants and all those things after. Right. So I'm going to double click again on task 2. And I'm going to leave it from finish to start. I'm leaving it as finish to start, but this time I'm going to add lead time. So to add lead time is a negative lag. I'm typing in negative and I'm putting 3. So it will be -3, right? So -3, and then I'm going to click OK. What you notice? Explain what you're seeing. What you're seeing. Denise, what you seeing here with these 2 activities? How it looks like now to you? Looks different?
Yes.
What is the difference with lag time and lead time, folks? Somebody just explain that over, because you have to understand what it is with, you know, in doing this. Yeah, what is the difference? Yeah.
I'm guessing that lag time is like difference between the 2 dates. When one finishes, the other one has to wait a little period before it starts, so it's lagging behind. And the lead time is where before the predecessor finishes, you can start. So on the 3rd day of task 1, sorry, on the 4th day, right, that day you can start task 2. So the entire thing only takes 7 days instead of 10.
Okay, good. Because you're starting, right? You're starting
on day 4.
On day 4. Good. Good. So you have lag time and you have lead time. What about finish to start? How did we do that? We have to double click on task 2. And you click on predecessor. And when you click on predecessor, you are seeing type here. And you are changing it from a finish to start now to a start to start. So Catherine, what do you see being very important so far in building a schedule? What you must know, what you must have? Looking at the time already, right? What must you know? What must you have in order to do a good schedule? Okay.
The days,
Days, okay, you must know your durations, right? Yes, you must know your durations, correct, correct. Mhm. Yeah,
the start and the finish. They had a start and they had a finish.
yeah. The start and the finish of every single activity, but you don't populate it, right? You must have those things, it's very important. To prepare an organic schedule, you must know your finish, the start, you must know your relationships, you must know your lag time, you must know your lead time. Remember, you can't make it up. At the end of the day, this is information that must be realistic, because as we keep saying, garbage in, garbage out. So to build a schedule, it's an organic schedule that you're building. What do we mean by building an organic schedule? We start with the start date, we put in our deliverables, we put in our tasks, we build our durations. And then you could do your relationships, which is finish to start to start, lag time, or lead time. A concept that I've also seen need to do a little more improvement on is resource loading. Right now, resource management is a very big area, right? To understand how to do effective resource loading. All right, so I'm just going to show you a little something so far with the resources. And of course, we'll continue with some more of these lunch and learn. But to do the resource loading, you go to resource and you have to create resources. So how do you create resources? You go to, well, should firstly change the view, right? How do I get resource sheet? I have to go to view and resource sheet. So view resource sheet and resource name, Shivani. The type, it's work. Material, of course, I'm leaving it as a work, and maximum units is 100%, standard rate. Wow, a lot of money, great. I could have an overtime rate, a cost per use, prorated, standard. So this would have been my resource sheet that I will populate with resources, folks. And then I have to go back to tasks and go back to Gantt chart. Right? Go back to Gantt chart and do what now? Assign resources to tasks. Assign resources to tasks. How are we assigning the resources to tasks? Well, I could once again double click on task 1. And this comes up. Now there are many ways to get this dialog box. I'm just showing you a little shortcut. Highlight it. Click on resources. The resource name. Shivani. Well, there's only one resource I have anyway. All right. And I'm seeing coming up now on the side, Shivani. Then I'm double clicking again. Yeah. And I'm getting all. Now I can leave this on. Let me leave it on. Double click. No, I can't do that. Double click on task 1. Resources. Double click now. Great. So I have just put Shivani to do all the tasks, all the activities by just adding resource in my resource sheet. Of course, the resource loading aspect, or that's the correct jargon, right? Resource sheet. But in understanding this, we have many more resources we could add. We could add work, material, cost, and then you have to know the effect of every single resource on the duration, because you may want to decrease duration, etc., etc. So resource loading is a major topic on its own. Great. Any questions? Any questions? Any questions? Well, my question is, what does this appear? Why did this appear? These two red things here. Anybody making a guess? 'Cause I'm
I
sure
think
you
that's
know.
when you over allocate a resource.
They're over allocated, exactly. Meaning I give Shivani too many things to do in the space of time. But nothing strange with that, right, Brandon? Over allocated,
Not at all.
right? But we know how to juggle, you and me. Great. So that's it, that's the purpose. Great. Right. So what knowledge are you leaving with? So I started this whole conversation by saying that knowledge is power, right? And in the field of projects, in the field of creating a schedule, yeah, you know, you must understand how to build your schedule properly. But there's a little more to that, right? Than just building your schedule properly. There's a little more to that than just building your schedule. What you will have to do is understand that this is part of the project management. Do not simply look at creating a schedule in isolation or in silo from the whole scheduling policy, from the whole schedule management plan. So what I like to see when I'm creating schedules, I like to see a scheduling policy, a schedule management plan, and then my project schedule. Things go very good like that. Do you have a policy in how to create schedules? Do you have a management plan in how to build the schedule? Of course, those are things part of your project management office and, you know, this whole PMP. So thank you, everybody. Are there any questions? What are your key takeaways? Your key takeaways. Vindra, what are your key takeaways so far?
Well, it was a lot of things, but the one thing that I forgot and that you did remind me of when we started was the importance when you're assigning tasks, the indentation for tasks, because I took a while to figure out how the indent task and the effect they will have on the project schedule when I started, because I started just basically opening project and trying to do it for myself. And that is something that you might necessarily know. You might think it's just formatting, but it's not just formatting on the Gantt chart. It's something critical to the project and organically building the project. The other thing that was new to me was when you talk about the lag time and lead time and how it will be indicated on the Gantt schedule on the Gantt chart. Because sometimes when we're building tasks, we might put like say 6 days for something to cure whatever. We put that in the task time. But I find it's a little more clearer to indicate it separately now, because you could actually see that duration between the finish to start for the next task. So thank you very much.
So Vindra, but you know, a main point that you said there with lag and lead, there's a reason to do it, you know, when we discuss the critical path method, because all of us in projects, you want to know what is the critical path, and you'll have to understand it with lag time, lead time, how to work it out properly. So it does impact, as you said. A main point that I'm glad you brought up too, the effect of indenting. When you indent something, you know, the effect of it on every single activity. So a lot of times people might just think it's a formatting, as you said, as if you're doing it in Excel, but it is formatting, but you don't know how to format, right? Yeah, with the indented. So good point. Brandon, what are your key takeaways? You know, somebody who already know the Oracle Primavera and certified in P6. Now, as you're comparing it to a Microsoft project, what is some of your key takeaways?
Well, to be honest, it was a nice refresher on Microsoft project. A lot easier to use in terms of being able to undo certain tasks, and like I said, just trying to make something work, adjusting the lead and lag times and all these things. One thing I kind of overlook many times is like when you actually link all the tasks. Sometimes I tend to do it one by one with all the predecessors because of the amount of different activities it have.
Yeah, 100 and more you're working with, I'm
Yeah,
sure. Yeah,
so I never really click all and then link it and then sort through. So that was a good reminder.
What I found, for example, let me just pull back up my screen quickly. What you were saying here, you could just simply highlight everything,
Yeah.
right? And when you
And link-
highlight it,
Link
you
all.
go to link the task right there.
Yeah.
And when you link afterwards, you could go to every single activity now
Yeah.
and actually set the predecessor if it's
Yeah.
different.
Yeah. Usually I'll just do one by one coming out.
Great, good. But you could do it that way too. Yeah, but
Yeah,
a fast
yeah,
way would
yeah.
be to highlight everything,
Everything,
link
yeah.
it, and then adjust it. Excellent.
Yeah.
Good. So, yes, this is a tool. You could use any tool. There are differences. There are a lot of similarities between both. But the one main point with the difference with the two, because some of us already know it, would be Microsoft Project allows you to do bottom-up planning and top-down planning, where P6 only does top-down planning. And top-down planning means
Top-down,
I
yeah.
have to put in the
Right.
deliverables and the tasks, then the tasks,
Yeah. Yeah.
But bottom-up planning, Microsoft. And Microsoft, as I say, have plenty on do. But when you're using any software, you find it's easy, yeah? Knowledge is power, right?
Yeah.
Great. So key takeaways, garbage in, garbage out. This is simply a tool to provide data, to generate reports and some great things and to forecast. But you cannot do these things in isolation. It is part of scheduling. It is part of the PM world, and we want it to be like that. Thank you, everyone. And I look forward to seeing you all next week as we do another lunch and learn. Now we are celebrating Global Entrepreneurship Week and Caribbean Connect and Borderlink Resources. We are part of, how do we want to celebrate? Because everything is a celebration for us. One of the events that we would have, part of the lunch and learn, we will have grow your business. So some of us who are in business, or even if you're not in business and you want to learn it, come have a little conversation. We'll have it with Sajad Hamid. He will be part of the lunch and learn. And then we have a fireside chat. Well, that's what I like to call it, fireside chat in the night, 8 o'clock, the business of TASA on one of the days in the week. So look forward. Thank you, everybody. Until we meet again, stay in touch.
All right, take care.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye.